Hello, I welcome you all to this lesson. So this is a question that I gave you to answer. So I want us to revise through this question together and see how we can come up with the answers for these questions. So there were quite two of them. So we'll answer this one and I'll give another one. So the question is saying, this is how the question is: a radio station transmits waves at a frequency of 80 times 10 to the power 6 Hz. If the velocity of the electromagnetic waves is 3 times 10 to the power 8 meters per second, calculate the wavelength of these waves. So there are two words here. In certain cases, you can be told, like the first question, they will give you a question where you are told to define. The question is, what is meant by the frequency of the radio waves? So what is meant by the frequency of the radio wave? For you to answer such a question, you know that frequency is the number of waves that are produced per second. So what is meant by the frequency of the radio waves is that this is the number of radio waves that are produced per second, just like that. So the answer is, when the first question is, what is meant by the frequency of the radio waves? What you need to answer is that you just say, this is the number of radio waves that are produced per second. You are done. So now, let us now concentrate. We've got wavelength. If you are told to define wavelength, you just say this is the minimum distance at which a wave repeats itself. So here you are told to calculate the wavelength. There is one formula that we get to use under waves, which is velocity is equal to frequency times wavelength. So if you divide both sides by frequency, you divide both sides by frequency, this cancelled. You are going to have wavelength is equal to velocity over frequency. And this is the formula that we are going to use to answer the wavelength that we are told. So this is now equal to, what is your velocity? 3 times 10 to the power 8 over, what is now the frequency? This is the velocity. The frequency, we are given that is the frequency. So it is what? 80 times 10 to the power 6, like that. What answer are you getting when... So how do you punch this? Maybe there is someone that is facing challenges on how to punch this. Just say open bracket, 3 times 10 to the power 80, cross bracket, divide by, open bracket, 80 times 10 to the power 6, cross bracket. What answer are you getting? You are going to get 3.75. Then you know that this is wavelength, meters. So you put meters. So this is how we needed to answer the questions, and these are procedures that we needed to do. So this is how we were supposed to answer the question. Let us now look at another question. Let us look at another question. This is another question that we are given. So the question is saying, two successive crests and approaching water waves are separated by a distance of 1.5 meters. It takes 0.2 seconds for one crest to cover the distance of 1.5 meters. The first question here is saying, at what speed is the wave traveling? So the question is, at what speed is the wave traveling? These are simple questions. You know that speed is equal to distance over time. So which is equal to, what is the distance? Distance is 1.5 over 1.5 over time, which is 0.2. So what is your answer there? What answer are you getting? So you punch on your calculator like this. So 1.5, so 1.5 divide 0.2. What answer are you getting? You are getting 7.5. This is speed meters per second. This is your answer. So this is what you are supposed to do, and these are procedures that you need to follow, as simple as this. So you know that speed is equal to distance over time. This is what I needed you to do. This is what I wanted you people to do. As simple as this. So these were simple questions. You were not even supposed to struggle answering these questions. The next question is saying, what is the frequency of the wave? What is the frequency of the wave? We know that frequency is given by the formula. Frequency is equal to what? Velocity over wavelength. This is the formula for frequency. We know that frequency is equal to velocity over wavelength. Hope you know where these formulas are coming from. So these formulas are coming from where? You know that velocity is equal to frequency over wavelength. You divide both sides by what? Wavelength, wavelength. So that this and this can cancel out. You remain with frequency is equal to velocity over wavelength. I guess you understand where these formulas are coming from. So now you say this is now equal to, what is your velocity? Your velocity, you answered this one now, which is 7.5 over, what is your wavelength? Wavelength, that one 1.5. So what is your answer here? When you divide, the answer that you're getting is 5. Then you put what? Hz. Just put Hz. These are the units. So just like this, you are done. So this is how we get to answer questions in an exam. You don't need to struggle. You need to answer questions as simple as this. So in a case now where you are told to distinguish between the nature of the water wave and the sound wave. So you are told to distinguish the nature of the what? Water wave and the sound wave. So water wave is a transverse wave, while a sound wave is a longitudinal wave, as simple as that. So that's how you are supposed to distinguish. Hope you understand. They are telling you to distinguish between water wave. So you just say water. They are telling you water wave is what? So water wave. This is a water wave. What is a water wave? So you say water wave. Water wave is what? Transverse. Is transverse wave in nature. Have you seen? This is transverse wave in nature. Wow. Sound wave. So you say sound what? Sound wave. Sound wave is longitudinal. This is longitudinal wave in nature. Longitudinal wave in what? In nature. Like this. As simple as this. So these are things that we are supposed to know. These are things that we need to understand. Like this, you are done. So this is what we were supposed to do. These are simple stuffs that we need to know under waves. So this topic comes in an exam. You need to make sure that you understand it, you get all the concepts. So when you are taught to give a difference between water and sound wave, water waves are transverse waves. So the particles vibrate at right angles to the direction of the wave, traveling of the wave. Or you can say to the direction of propagation of the wave. While sound waves, these are longitudinal waves. So particles vibrate parallel to and fro to the direction of propagation of the wave. So these are things that you are supposed to know and understand. So I want you to get this and I want you to know this. So when questions like this come in an exam, you can't fail to answer them because we've discussed about them. So make sure you write down these questions in your book, such that if you start revising or studying, you just be going through your book. Thank you so much.